Hello and welcome. With most games, the community will always look to the developers for something new, and Gran Turismo 7 is no different. The community will always look for new cars and new circuits, and we're gonna focus on circuits today because before we go to the developers and ask for some new circuits, we might actually be overlooking some incredible racetracks. So I turned to GT7 community and I posed a question. What circuits do you think are unappreciated? And I want to hear from you, what circuits do you think are overlooked? And for the first circuit that we are going to look at, we're going to head on over to the Americas, to Blue Moon Bay Speedway, and we're going to focus on Infield A. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I completely forgot that there was any other layout besides for the standard oval. It's not actually an oval, but the main circuit of Blue Moon Bay. Now when you first load on into a circuit, you're put on the main straightaway. Now the first turn is a bit of an odd one because if you set your suspension too stiff, then the car will have a bad time, because the way the track actually bangs and you have to go up the track, it will just make for a very unpleasant experience. Now if you haven't been around the circuit before, it is a very short circuit. In a GT3 vehicle, you can complete a lap of the circuit within 90 seconds. So yes, it is relatively a short circuit, but for what it offers, it is a lot of fun. Where you have tight turns, you have blind turns, where, as I said, if you've never been around the circuit, you will end up finding yourself way off the clipping points and actually running into the grass. So yes, it does take a bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it is such a fun little circuit which a lot of players actually overlook. And that's because we don't actually have that many events at the circuit, especially for Infield A. We have no actual events for it. But with it being such a small circuit, it makes driving and competition very intense. You have to make your moves very precisely and you don't actually have that much room to make the moves. The circuit is quite narrow compared to other circuits in the game, but that just adds to the intensity, because if you brake too late, you will run wide, you will run off circuit. So you have to nail your braking points, you have to nail your clipping points, and it's not as easy as you think. For example, this corner, if you slow down and you make the first apex but you haven't slowed down enough, you will run completely wide and ruin your racing line and miss the second apex. And as you can see from the R8 in front of me, it ran a little bit wide, it tapped the wall and it had to slow down. So no, this circuit does not allow for a lot of mistakes, so you gotta be very careful, but once you get used to the circuit, you will really learn to enjoy it. Now on to our second location, and that is Saint-Croix. Now this location in general, no matter which track, is a bit of a fan favorite, but also fans don't really like it. So we're going to be focusing on layout C, the longest layout for the specific location. Now, no matter what you say, this is a very technical circuit because it has high top end straightaways that lead into almost dead brakes because it is a 90-degree turn. And that happens quite a few times on the circuit. It's just straight away into a sharp corner, and with no runoffs on either side of the circuit, it's just barrier. So the chance of you meeting barrier is very high. Now this was actually my first time on the circuit, hence why I completely missed the braking points and overshot. Now the circuit is rather technical, so if you haven't been around it before, it is quite a lot. It is a lot of turns to remember, where to brake, where to accelerate, where can you just let the car glide through the corner, and where you need to actually focus on, because the circuit is quite unforgiving. But once you really start to get into the rhythm of it, you see that this is a perfect circuit to test out your Group 3 or any race car in fact, because it just offers the proper test of braking, acceleration, top speed, and everything you need to test the full capabilities of a vehicle. And if you are gonna put it into a race, you'll see that it makes for some really good racing. But the main reason that I really love this location in general is because of the background. This is a beautiful circuit. In my opinion, this is the best circuit aesthetically to race on, because as you come over this bridge, you have the water to your left, you have the mountain range ahead of you, and we're actually gonna see more of that water as we come over the straightaway on this bridge. There's something about that bridge that honestly, it gives me such a burst of serotonin. So now, as you come over, you see the blue water. Now, the compression with YouTube, it doesn't really bring across the clarity of how amazing the circuit actually looks. So, as I said, a lot of people actually complain about the flow of the circuit. They say that this is one of the worst circuits in Gran Turismo 7, and I don't know why that is. Why are you saying such a statement? Yes, the circuit is tricky, but once you get a hang of it, you'll actually begin to enjoy it quite a lot. Especially if you are putting yourself up against some difficult AI, then you will have such a blast. Yes, it is a lot to remember because there is quite a few turns, but I mean, if you can remember the Nürburgring, this should be a piece of cake. Now, before I head on over to the final circuit, I do want to put this out. I am gonna make a part 2 of this video because there are some more circuits that I feel go quite unnoticed, and so does the community. So if you are interested in seeing that, don't forget to subscribe. And lastly, sakes, if I have pronounced the names of these locations incorrectly, I do apologize, but we're gonna focus on the village layout. 2 words to describe sake. It's gonna be elevation change. That's the best way to put it, because no matter how you drive whichever layout, the circuit just keeps changing elevation. That makes it stand out from any other circuit in Gran Turismo 7. Yes, you have other circuits like Magrigo and Kyoto Driving Park that has a slight bit of elevation change, but nothing truly compares to sakes. From your blind turns to your embanked corners, the circuit just offers such a adaptive racetrack that you can't find anywhere else. And if you have your car perfectly set up and you know the perfect line to take, it almost feels as if you're on a roller coaster. Now, I don't know why people are saying that this circuit is underappreciated, because if you don't use a circuit or overlook it, you are doing yourself a disadvantage, because it's such a flowy circuit, and when you come up to this turn, you can really break some people's ankles and perform the good old switcheroo, which makes for some incredible racing footage. But if you are coming on the circuit for the first time, I do suggest take it slowly and just figure out how the circuit actually flows, because if you think you're just gonna dive straight in and tackle the circuit, you will find yourself in a barrier very soon. So these are the 3 circuits that I think, and the community also thinks, are unappreciated or overlooked. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think these circuits get enough attention, they need more attention, or if they're perfect just the way they are? So if you have made it this far, thank you so much for your time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.